Hi everyone, thanks for watching. I just wanted to log in a few minutes before to make sure the connection was up and running. I hope you're all okay, safe and well out there in these crazy times. A lot of stuff going on around the world, but I hope you're safe. And thank you for joining this Save the Med YouTube live session. I just want to start out by thanking Save the Med for inviting me to talk about something that I love the most, the ocean, and how I believe that we can, really make a difference. I think we can start. So first, I wanted to introduce myself. My name is Jacob Dalhoff, and I work as the Partnership Manager for Paralenz. Let me just see. I just got a notification in the comment that it seems like I'm not going through. Okay. If you could just put in the comment track, if you could see me, that's perfect. Okay, all sorted. Perfect. Great. Thank you. My name is Jacob Dalhoff. I work as the Partnership Manager for Paralenz, which is a camera manufacturer based in Copenhagen, Denmark. Back to that in a second. My background is in the diving industry. I've been a diving instructor for 10 years. I worked in places like Egypt and Maldives and Thailand. And that was really where, through those years, that was really where my love for the ocean sparked. But also my realization, I came to the realization through those years that we really needed to do something to help reverse the steep decline of life beneath the surface. So after a couple of years abroad diving, I returned to Copenhagen, and I was lucky enough to be able to join the company Paralenz, which is a Danish founded and based company that produces underwater cameras, which are specifically made for divers and snorkelers and underwater enthusiasts in general. Before I get too much into Paralenz and the cameras and what we do as a company, I would like to share my perspectives a little bit on. What I think are the key things to really making a difference. And I know I might be preaching to the choir here because I know you're all engaged already in this kind of ocean preservation and are really interested in this. But I believe that the two main things are, you need to focus. We can't. One person can't save many subjects topics. So it's it's better if we really focus individually and come together as groups in collaboration. That's one of the key points I believe is the key to help restoring the ocean. And once you have that focus, it's important to reach out to local NGOs and communities like Save the Med. So that's huge, parts of what we say ocean restoration, the ocean restoration work. But what's also extremely important is the responsibility of the companies and the manufacturers. And whereas there has been this amazing wave, this trend of companies and brands really going out there, stepping out there and cutting their different single-use plastics and altering their strategy and communication for the ocean. And that's where I want to come into, talk a little bit about Paralenz and what I feel is our biggest, virtues and And from the core of the team, we feel obligated to, as a dive camera, we feel obligated to visually inspire. So to make it easier, and thus increasing the amount of visual inspiration online, to basically make more ocean ambassadors. So that's one track, is we need to inspire more people and create the tools for you guys out there, the divers, the underwater enthusiasts, the scientists, to really help tell the stories that will inspire. The second thing that we really feel obligated to do is to bridge the gap between the science community and recreational sports, recreational water sports, so divers, snorkelers, etc. The way that we are doing this is, focusing on bridging this gap when we create our cameras and in basically in every work that we do, every mission we embark on. And the reason for that is also that obligation is for the realization that if companies and brands don't stand for something good and try to do something, then it's a huge loss for the effort that's that could be done. So we need to really push brands and companies to genuinely want to do something, and this is really increasing. It's growing, but it could be much so. The way that we at Paralenz, we try to help people make a difference is by creating the Paralenz dive camera. We do have a new model coming out, which we call the Paralenz very soon. And when creating this camera, we realized that if we added a lot of sensors to this camera, so depth and temperature, together with the right organizations, universities, and partner up with the right institutions, then we would be able to not only know what data is relevant and where the data is relevant from, but also be able to bring that data to organizations that would be able to make a difference with it. In the same way that the local projects and global projects carried out by our partners, we can communicate that to our users, and in that way they will also know what to do. So we really want to grow this, and this is a huge part of our mission. And so the camera in itself, aside from being a great underwater camera, which is super robust, it's full aluminum, it goes to 350 meters without a housing. We added a depth sensor, so it knows what depth it is at. That means that such as color correction, and it does depth controlled color correction, so you don't need to put external color filters on the camera itself. It's super versatile in its mounting, as it is a cylindrical shape. I would urge you all to go to the website in the description, and after the talk, preferably, and have a look at the camera and its shape and its mounting options, because they're very, very versatile in comparison to others. And the last thing about the camera is the battery life. It lasts for 3.5 hours. So in full HD, so that's a lot more than others. But enough about the camera itself. The data that it collects, we wanted to create a platform for people to both inspire other people with their diving, with their dive videos, but also to be able to distribute the data, the metadata from the video, so depth, temperature, conductivity, based on location, and we kind of wanted to create a database for this. And the way we have chosen to do this is by creating a part of the Paralenz app, which you can also see at the bottom of the description. In a part of this Paralenz app, which also functions as a logbook, is called TheOceanBase. And The OceanBase is generally an initiative where you can upload highlights from your dive, place them on different parts of a map, and in that you can inspire other people. You can also yourself go to check out the map and see other people's videos that they have uploaded from different places in the world. And as you upload this data, you're also sharing all this valuable marine data with our partners. We strongly believe that creating this tool as a company and optimizing this tool and keep pushing, keep making it better, always on feedback from the community. If we keep doing this, we will really we will create the necessary tool that you all need as well, to basically to help divers and enable them to make a difference. So it's important for me to say that we're not the solution to anything. We're creating the tools for the communities, the people, the NGOs, the universities to connect with and engage with in order to make this ocean. There's a couple of other companies that I really want to put out there, and one of them is Fourth Element. I believe that they really set an example as an ocean positive company. So, or can we reach out to that will create this ocean positive effect in the company. So just by being there, by doing their marketing, by creating their products, they're creating an ocean positive effect that will only be exponential, and getting them into production. This is happening with a lot of companies, by the way, but it's yet another example of how we as companies can step up and create tools for you to use. So I would like to actually finish off there, and I'd love to have a look at some of your questions. I know that maybe Dan or Brad out there can help me summarizing some of the questions, and if there's anything that you feel. Let me see. Okay, so there's a question here. In my opinion, what's the that oceans face recently? That's it's a really broad question, but what's causing the deterioration of the oceans are overfishing. So be aware of where, if you really need to eat fish. I'm not going to preach and say you can't eat fish, but if you really need to eat fish, be aware of what where is it caught. Locally caught is much better. There's several other ways, but you can look that up. And so overfishing is one. Plastic pollution is definitely one, and we see this huge wave of plastic pollution. Anti-plastic efforts really, and this is also where some of the companies comes in and steps up to their responsibility and obligation. So that's overfishing and plastic, and of course we have the CO2 emissions, which are also being focused on. Could be more, but I really genuinely believe, and sometimes naively some would say, but I really believe that we're changing the trajectory of where we were going. I know that the projections previously looked really bad, but I don't think, and this is my opinion, this is what I think. I don't think that these projections has had the ability to take into account the effect of all the positive efforts that's being done right now. So if this keeps increasing, then we'll be able to make projections that are insanely much more positive than the ones that we've seen, which are most of them 5 years old, and even more. So to like take that to the next kind of chapter is what is the restoration work, the ocean regeneration and restoration work. What are the biggest challenges they are facing? And it's basically the getting the majority of the global population to understand that if we do not start to live in symbiosis with nature and with the ocean, then there's not really much reason to go on. So it's not a doomsday prophecy, but it is probably one of the areas where we need to focus the most. But it's also where I see a lot of focus in awareness generation from government. So that makes me very that comforts me in this journey. So to answer Sergio's question, how can images and videos from recreational divers help inform science? And that's a really, really good question. And I love answering it. There are numerous ways that this can help. It requires development, on the current solution. So all the videos and the images that are being uploaded to the OceanBase today, they are being, with your consent, they're being stored to help our work to make this into a really efficient tool. A visual timeline of how did this reef look a year ago, and 2 years ago, and 2.5 years ago. So and if we have 1 million divers, or even more, collecting and snorkelers collecting video and images of reefs with GPS coordinates on them, we'll be able to propagate this really, really well, and be able to make a baseline, so you can visually see how the reefs are evolving. Future purposes of this could include artificial intelligence and other things that would be able to assess things like coral cover and fish abundance based on recreational divers' footage and imagery. So as it is now, the images and the videos, they will help build the brain that we are developing. And in the future, it can essentially work as an alert system or a baseline of data that scientists could go in and analyze different parts of reefs around the world. So I hope that answered your question, Sergio. I'd be really interested in hearing if there's any more questions, any comments. There, I see Brad. He just collaborated. Yeah. Okay, great. Thank you, Sergio. I'd love to hear if you have some comments. And maybe we could even make the comment thread continue. I'm not sure if that's even possible, but to share ideas of what you're doing and how you see some of the things that has been touched upon these past 20 minutes. Yeah, Maria. So Maria is asking, how do organizations / scientists access and use the data? So we developed it in a way, and then we are partnering up with different institutions and organizations and scientists that can use this data. And the way to access it is basically, if you want to support a certain project that we work with, then when you upload the video to the OceanBase, you can put in the notes in the application. It's very practical. In the application, in the app, you can put in the notes the name of the project, and we will then be able to, in collaboration with that partner, we'll be able to send them the data that they need. So it's a really cool tool for if you need to survey a reef over a certain amount of time, and you upload this data to the OceanBase, then we're working with you as a partner. We'll always be able to help you get that data that has been collected. In the time and events, and you never know how it goes with time developing products and online platforms. But we're very open ears, and we're always open to make new partnerships. And the question: what are some of the crazy places you can put a Paralenz? So basically, I would like to say anywhere, but we've seen people put them. I mean, okay, so the normal ways they could put it is on the mask. It's mask mounted, so that makes it really cool research tool because you have your hands free, and it also records depth and temperature. So you would later on be able to review the footage and see what depth is this footage taken on. So you don't have to correlate your dive computer and your footage. And the other places where you can mount it is you can mount it on your wrists. You can have it in your hand. We even made what we call a third-person viewer, which is a stick with floats to make the camera neutral. And you can basically pull the camera behind you, so it films you from the back from a third eye perspective, a third-person view. This is quite a popular accessory that many people find quite fun and innovative. Other places, a little bit more technical places, where we've seen this being mounted, is being on submarines, on on ROVs, on AUVs. People has used them for when they tag sharks, to understand the among other things, to understand the migratory patterns of sharks, and able to make to build the data that you need to create marine preservations and so on. So you can basically mount it on everywhere. I don't know. Some of you might have seen a video with a turtle crawling in the water with a Paralenz on its shell. So and all of these things, they really, it's a really great tool as well for marine scientists and biologists to understand the behavior of animals in order to better protect them. Let's see. There's a question here. Yeah. Oh, thank you very much, Clara. Thank you for your comment. Yeah, this is, I mean, again, without promising, this is without promising when, but this is something, some of the capabilities, it's basically boundaryless. It's only time and creativity that sets limits for what we can do. But stuff like whale shark identification, manta identification, imagine a world where we could have and we're not there yet, I'm not saying that, but imagine a world where we could have an artificial intelligence constantly processing the videos and images, donated to marine science by normal recreational divers and snorkelers, and basically assess things like coral cover, things like marine abundance, but also be able to recognize whale sharks, or be able to recognize manta rays, or turtles. So if one diver has seen one whale shark at the South Area Atoll in the Maldives, and another diver sees it further down south or up in Bar and Ra Atoll. So yeah, we're really dedicated to this. We really love input from the community. That's how the camera was built from the get-go, and that's how we're going to keep developing. So yeah, I think I want to finish off unless there are any other questions. I love doing this. Thank you so much for Save the Med for having us on. And I just want to finish off, because if you are, if this is the first time watching, you're new to this, I just want to mention that the next talk of Save the Met will be on Monday, and believe it or not, it's going to be about orcas in the Mediterranean. So that's definitely one that I'm going to watch. I think it's super exciting. Thank you so much. I really do believe that the potential is huge. So I'm glad to hear you say that. I hope you will you'll spread the word. I hope you got something out of it today. And we're really appreciating all the. So I just want to quickly answer Gabriel's question here. Have you done any step in regards to the use of Paralenz in baited remote underwater video studies, as for instance to facilitate stereo imaging? Very quickly, the cameras are capable of stereo imaging. You can have two cameras. We've seen, a lot of our partners has been using two cameras to create this stereoscopic view. If you go to our website under the in the menu in the app, you'll be able to scroll down to the bottom and see the partner organizations that we work with, and kind of get an idea of how they work with the cameras. You can also go to the About section on our website, where our different science ambassadors have been, has briefly mentioned how they're using the cameras. And with regards to baited video, you have to excuse my ignorance here, but I believe that it's having a bait box with a camera on it, and yes, that has been done. Chris O'Shears from the O'Shears Foundation, Shark researcher, also have been affiliated with Shark Week. He has been doing some of their work, and if you reach out, I'll be happy to put you in touch with the people and the partners that we work with that has any kind of experience and knowledge in that, Gabriel. So yes. Okay. Thank you, Brad. Thank you, Save the Met. Thank you, everybody, for watching. It was an absolute pleasure. And go check out the orcas on Monday. And stay safe.